So, John, Bill, first of all, thanks for having me. Thanks for this opportunity. Not all the days I can ask with great devs like you. My name is Oscar. I'm a content creator from Spain. Many people who will see this interview may play Fallout 76, but may not know you or the role you do in the game. John, you are the creative director of Fallout 76, and Bill, you are the lead producer. Can we say that Bill is the guy who makes the worship work and John is the navigator or the GPS or something like that?
I think that's fairly accurate. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of different hats that I wear in this role. But for John, being the creative director and kind of defining what that story is going to look like for Fallout going into the future, I try to find and make sure that we have the resources to build all that content out. We have different partners that we work with externally. We also have our team internally. So we have to balance that out and make sure that we just have everybody available to execute on that process. We're in a position where as a team, we are working on anywhere between 6 and 7 patches at a time. So again, there's a lot of maneuvering and gymnastics that have to be done to make sure that we're doing that. But yeah, like I said, as John is defining what we're trying to execute on as the story that we are telling for 76, I need to make sure that I work with him to make sure that we have the resources available to pull all that off.
Okay, let's talk about Fallout 76. I think that everybody's shocked when arrives for the first time to Fallout 76. And I'm not talking about the quality of the video game, who is superb. I'm talking about his amazing community. When you arrive for the first time, you're always kindly received by experimented players, and I must say that it's not something usual in a multiplayer game. What do you think it's about Fallout 76 that makes the community so charismatic and friendly for new players? It's the Fallout universe itself, or there's something else?
Before we launched, I think it's probably safe to say that most of us were under the assumption, hey, we're making a post-apocalyptic game and it's going to be multiplayer. Everybody's going to want to kill one another. And then, as you've pointed out, it couldn't be further from the truth. It's you come in and people just want to help. They want to help you find things. They want to give you things. They want to show off their cool camps that they've made. So it's really probably one of the friendliest, most approachable communities in gaming, period. And it's kind of ironic because in a post-apocalyptic setting, it kind of gives me hope for the future in case something like that were to happen. It's like, wow, people just genuinely want to help one another. So hopefully our community and how they conduct themselves in our game is sort of a nice sampling of people as they really are.
Now, how is the Mothman? Are you taking good care of him? I love that guy.
Well, I wouldn't know. Every time I see the Mothman, I blow him up. So maybe Bill has other experiences.
Yeah, I believe the Mothman's being a little ornery right now. He's currently T-posing all over the game in one of our branches, but we have summoned a number of cultists to dance and show appreciation, so we expect that to be fixed sometime soon. So,
cool.
But yeah, Mothman is doing fine and will be doing fine going forward.
Okay, let's talk about Gleaming Depths. How did the idea of the race come about? Did you say it was in a game jam, right? How did it go? How did it born?
So the idea for some kind of dungeon type experience came up. Bethesda Game Studios does a game jam as often as they can. It's usually about once a year or so. We got a really small core team together to craft this initial experience, just to give like in 3 days, just to give an impression of what an experience like this could feel like. And anybody who wanted to jump in, jumped in. We had our studio director, Doug Mellencamp, hop in. He was doing environment art for the game jam. So presenting that to the team as a video, here's the experience, here's what it feels like, making it exciting, almost like a movie trailer. We could see everybody's excitement around that feature. So we decided, you know what, this might be a great outlet for giving players that extra challenge that they're looking for and that increase in player power. Let's figure out what a kind of re-envisioning of a raid in Fallout 76 would look like, and tying that up with an Enclave theme, always popular with players and fun to kind of come in and poke every now and then, seemed to make the most sense. So that's where the initial idea for the Gleaming Depths was born.
Yeah, in my opinion, guys, you nailed it with the raid. Everything in every aspect just merged perfectly. It's so fun.
Have you played it on the public test server?
Yeah, I played. I suffered it.
Good. I like to hear that. The team that was working on that were so, and are still so committed to that feature. Everybody on that team are in-game players. They know exactly what they were looking for, the exact types of challenges and encounters and the complexity that was appropriate for a Fallout game as far as the mechanics. And they almost knocked it out of the park on the first try. It's pretty amazing to see that. Speaking of raids, Bill probably knows what I'm doing off camera here. So I don't want to freak you out, but we have a real life Ultracite Terror here in the office. Real life Ultracite Terror is here in the office, and he's come to say hello.
Hello, sir. How are you? It's more kindly than the last time I met him. It looks more relaxed. The point of giving a visual guide to see, to watch, or to help to imagine all the stuff you are creating, it's cool. Sometimes things like draws or puppets or these kind of things they're underrated, in my opinion.
We used that to figure out what the cadence and what that fight was, and actually what's in the game now up on PTS is probably like 90% figured out with just a hand puppet and some action figures right there. So fast and easy to try different things, and you just captured on your iPhone and go back and look at it later, and this worked, this didn't, this worked, let's try this over here.
Yeah, and in some terms it's more dynamic than a storyboard, or
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
Well,
huge credit to Jon here, because again, I think a lot of people look at it and they find it funny because Jon's using puppets. There's a lot of value in there for designers to be able to rapidly iterate on ideas just by using that stuff. And so again, there's a humorous element of it, but there's also a very serious game development aspect there too that we use a lot, and I think that went a long way with our team. So yeah, very good, and it was really nice to see that be played out the way it did.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, in the PTS, in the public test server, we saw the Enclave, Ultracite, Enclave, secret projects. Can we expect to find more surprises from the Enclave in Appalachia in the future?
The Enclave is very secretive and mysterious, so far be it from me to speculate on exactly what they're doing. However, there's a good chance they'll show up again.
Yeah, funny
Okay.
enough, when we were doing Skyline Valley, we didn't actually build Rapid Ant Camp. It just kind of appeared in game, and we think that's pretty much their doing. They wanted to insert themselves into the project, so they did. So luckily all the content works, which is great. But yeah, they just kind of decide when they want to appear, and we let them.
Okay, I expected something like that. Okay, the solution to some of the challenges and enemies in the raid require specific builds. Has it been, or will it be, a way to force players to explore other types of builds, skills, weapons, etc.?
I wouldn't say force, I would say heavily encourage, which is good, right? Because you layer on all these new 4-star effects, which layer seamlessly on top of their favorite 3 stars. And on its own, they open up a lot of different play styles and possibilities, a lot of which they're going to need, for Gleaming Depths, and possibly for future raids down the road if we were to make them.
In the raid, I met the Guardian, a guy of few words, I must say. We have a lot of cool and tough enemies. Do you think it's possible to do the raid in solo?
I can't. So I'm sure maybe somebody could. Bill, I don't know. Has somebody done it solo yet?
My thought on this is that I think eventually it'll be possible. And while we have seen a couple of solo runs on PTS, those were also due to just some effects not working the way they were supposed to be working. So, and we've addressed those. So I still think it's going to be relatively difficult, but as we see players get more min-maxed and they've run through the raid a number of times and they've gotten their 4 stars, it's possible. But again, we did build this in a way that we wanted it to be cooperative. We wanted players to engage with groups, and it wasn't we went in saying this can't be soloable for anything. It's not that. It's really just that we wanted an experience again that was cooperative with people playing together and going through each of these different encounters, trying to figure out the solution to them. And some of them are very difficult to do solo. So yeah, I think maybe the Guardian bot might be one that could potentially be soloed. We'll see though. I'm excited to see how players engage with this when it goes live though. But if they do, they do. And it'll probably to just an extreme amount of min-maxing, but also skill. Someone who's really taken the time to analyze every movement, every timing, everything like that, which we come to see in a lot of different games.
I understand that the idea of the raid is to offer a breath of fresh air and a challenge for the highest level players. Has there been any talk of making it more accessible for more casual players, or do you want it to be a reward for those players who are more committed to the game?
We kind of have separate reward loops in the game, right? If I was to boil it down kind of a bit more simpler, we've got the 3-star loop, right? Which folks have been chasing for years with Scorch Beast Queen specifically, or Earl, or more recently the Storm Goliath. So there's plenty of outlets for folks that are maybe more casual or newer to the game, but for people that have kind of exhausted those avenues and are looking for that next boost in power, it's isolated in the Gleaming Depths. That's where you go. Get your friends or join an existing group and see what you can pull from there. So our in-game players, looking at community feedback and sentiment over the years and sort of looking at the bigger beats and the larger strokes, are really looking for that increased challenge, that thing that, as you said earlier, really kicked your ass. They've been looking for that. They want something hard. And so, as far as raids go, if we were to release more, maybe we will, this one would probably be the easiest of the raids. So they will just get harder and harder.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think even for us, this is where the community kind of comes into, because there are going to be a lot of casual players who want to engage with this content. They want to go through, they want to figure it out. The encounters themselves are actually not extremely difficult at that point. So you're going to have videos that come out. You're going to have people talking about it in the community. You're going to have community people who are going to ask people to come along with them to show them what the raid is like, which is what I see happening. I see people going, hey, 4 people on this stream or wherever it is, like, come join with me. I'll show you how to do this raid. And there's still going to be strategy. There's still going to be loadouts and things that they're going to talk about or need to have to be more successful there. But that information is going to be readily available, and they're going to learn it. They're going to get in there and go, wow, okay, I'm getting better and better and better at this. And they're going to eventually tackle it. And so it might just take a few more tries to do it. But again, there's going to be information, and we have such a great community that will probably guide them and walk them through it and teach them how to actually engage, with each of those encounters. So yeah, I don't think there's even a need for us to have a more casual version of this, raid or anything like that, because we've got a good community and players will be able to tackle it with some time.
Okay. Next one. The bonus sets of the Vulcan new armor and the 4-star legendary items are just wild. Or normally in a video game, when you find a lot of ammo or really good equipment, it's because they're preparing you for the worst. Like a big final boss or something like that. Given the new armor sets and not taking into consideration the Ultracite Terror, should Appalachia be worried about what's coming next?
Yes.
Wow.
Be very worried and stay tuned.
Okay. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. So, how many Brahmins did the Ultracite Terror usually eat for breakfast while the raids weren't running? The guy is in very good shape.
Well, Ultracite Terror, it's started out kind of small. It sort of grew over the years, and it started out with Brahmins, but honestly, it hasn't eaten Brahmins in a while. It's kind of moved on to Scorched Beasts. So maybe, I don't know, half a dozen every couple days or so. Kind of depends on how many it can lure down there, but yeah, just keeps growing and growing. It's really weird. Biggest creature in any Fallout game ever, by the way, by far.
Well, and now the final question, the big one, fishing. Why you took so long? I can wait.
Wait,
Appalachia is perfect for fishing.
Fishing. Everybody loves fishing. Yeah. So anywhere in Appalachia you can drink, you're going to be able to fish. So imagine the possibilities when you look at that map and see all that water. Different fish for different regions, rare fish, different fishing poles, different lures. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a whole server full of traveling trawlers, angling to reel in the big catch of the day. Yes, thank you.
Love it.
He's kicking in. Here come the puns. Yeah. So yeah, fishing's going to be exciting. I'm excited for it.
Okay, but it's cooking involved with fishing in some way?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's all. So, Jon, Bill, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor for me. It was a really cool moment in a life of a Bethesda fan. So, I'm so glad to be here. So, thank you so much. And I'm going to try to train to beat this Ultracite terror that is messing me up.
Yeah, keep me posted on how you do. But yeah, I love hearing how people do in there. It's been great talking to you as well. Great questions. Thank you for your continued support with the game. Thank you for engaging with PTS. That helps us immensely in making sure that the final release is as good as it can be. And yeah, this has been a pleasure. I hope that we're able to do this again.
Okay, nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
Future.